Hello. Sorry, I had a bit of a cough there. Time to finish Orzammar now. Gonna take us a little while, so strap yourselves in. There's a lot to talk about lore-wise in this part of the game. So we're gonna be here for a while. Alright. The dead trenches. Done quite well so far.
The Legion gives no quarter. Send them to the stone! When the throne is settled, we'll beat them to their vile birthing grounds.
Can I get you a ladder so you can get off my back?
Just looking at things I can actually pick up.
I'll get on it.
Cool. Ogren has gone down again. There will come a time when I'm just going to stop giving him injury kits because he just goes down all the time in this part of the game. It's unfortunate, but there it is. Left a trail of corpses all the way to the other side there. Just let Ogren heal up a little bit.
Pathetic!
Now you die.
You get no mercy from me!
And there we are.
Now's better than later.
Now we come across.
Well, Grey Warden, I'll give you credit for backbone. Dug a line through the spawn. Still no sense in your head, but you've got skill.
Tell you more about Legion of the Dead.
We die in the eyes of our brothers so we can fight without fear. It offers redemption for the promise of the greatest sacrifice. That's all you need to know. To say more invites judgment, or worse, imitation.
Ever heard of the Anvil of the Void?
Like dusters, I've heard of respect. Never seen it. And if it exists, it wasn't meant for me. But if you're looking for paragons, you may as well look for the Anvil, and endless lyrium.
He's probably been more concerned about the coming blight.
Why? The other kingdoms only care when the Darkspawn march in the light. But they are always here. Always pushing. Your nightmare is my everyday. Our resolve gives you a rest between blights. A surge on the surface would give us a break. When the time comes, I'll care for a good dwarven reason. Sod the rest.
I'm leaving.
Let us know if you find any paragons. You're as likely to find a dozen as one. And Warden, watch yourself. Drunks make poor allies.
We're heading this way? Do you love the big gates and stuff? I really do like the faded dwarven architecture down here as well. It does remind me of like a Moria and stuff, but more like visceral, you know? I apologise if I'm coughing a lot.
No end to these blasted things. I'll get on it.
Are you going to stop running at some point today?
No chance at all. All right.
That's why I do say Royce is probably the best character of all these in terms of combat, because he just took on like all the dudes at the top of the stairs on his own to give everyone a chance to finish these guys off.
All right.
We're going to end up on the other side of that, I think.
I'll get on it.
But they keep on doing it though, don't they, Ogrenol, mate? Useless. Get his thing up, I think. Survival, why not? It's gonna have bravery. Lovely stuff. I want to draw some of these out because I know this is a very challenging fight. Draw them out, draw them out.
I'll get on it. I should not have taken as long as I did.
Few down.
Darkspawn, kill them all.
Okay, we should probably just go for one. Jesus Christ, then.
I'll get on it. Better be late.
Excuse me while I do my happy dance.
Yeah, that
Got it.
That fight is normally really hard, and that's why I'd stopped for a little bit just to let people come
Now
out.
it's better than later.
Just to thin out the herd a little bit. It's old dwarven architecture. It's very cool. Aha! I think we're on the other side of that bridge. There we are. Nice. I think we're still going to go down there though, I think.
Twisted creatures.
Poor Ogren's
Right. I'll get on it.
Sorry, Ogren, mate.
Ah, close one.
That one was actually my fault. So you're okay. So just for that, you can actually use one of the lesser health cultists. Go on. There you go.
Right.
It's almost like when they were making Orzammar that they figured out the loot trick. I don't want to see corpse skulls, you know, because they're just not. They're like junk. My character would never look at it and go, "Oh, look, there's a corpse skull. Do I want to pick it up?" No, of course you don't. I want the shinies. If they have shinies, I will take the shinies. If they do not have shinies, I will leave the shinies. I will not take shinies.
First day they come and catch everyone.
There's my cue. So, if you are squeamish about sexual violence or anything like that, I advise that you stop watching. Okay, so this part of the game is actually quite controversial, and I think myself it's very well written. And it's something that only old BioWare would do. New BioWare would never do something like this. Essentially, it's heavily implied, Hitchcock style, that the way that the Darkspawn, these monsters, reproduce is that they capture women from, you know, the land above, bring them below here, and then just rape them until they spawn Darkspawn. They become brood mothers, which are these grotesque, huge, grotesque octopus-like things that, you know, breed 1,000 Darkspawn. That is horrific. You know, it's body horror. And again, it's hinted. They never outright say it. They hint it. Whereas, you know, it's like Hitchcock, and then let your imagination do the rest, sort of thing. It's a very, really good way to build horror. And I think it's handled very, very well. I mean, this part of the game always makes me feel uneasy, and it always makes me feel, you know, it gives the Darkspawn another level of evil. It really does. It gives them the fact that they're made like this. There's a really amazing line that this character who just said something then before, we'll say later on, where she says, you know, that's where they come from, in regards to the Broodmother. You know, that's why they hate us, and that's why they need us. You know, that is horrific in its own way. You know, the Darkspawn up until this point in the game are basically orcs. They're basically, you know, more effed up orcs who bleed blood, and, you know, in a fantasy world. Whereas this turns them into pure horror. Like, they are, it takes them to the next level, if you know what I mean. Whether you need monster rape to do that is entirely up to you. I think if it's going to be in a game or a movie or something, I'd much rather it was implied than shown, because there's a very fine line between talent and squick. Squick to me is something that's unnecessarily over the top. So, you know, there was a famous scene in a movie called Galaxy of Terror where a woman is raped by a slug monster thing, and it was just so over the top it became hilarious. You know, it was uneasy at the start, and then it was like just hilarious because it was just so over the top, so stupid. And it was squick. You know, it didn't have to be there. There was no reason for that to be in the movie at all. It was stupid, and it just failed. It failed in what it was trying to, the message it was trying to portray. Whereas in this is it done right. It doesn't show you anything. You know, they just tell you enough, and then you let your imagination do the rest. And there's nothing darker than the human mind, and I think most good horror writers actually understand that. And BioWare at this time, again, it's not the same BioWare that is in later generations like now. The BioWare of today, who just made Anthem, are a cookie cutter, standard, bog standard, hardly talented, you know, it's just so boiled down, you know, it's just so meh, you know, it's grey, you know, it's just, here's another open world shooter, here's another, just get it over with, you know, that sort of a thing. Whereas BioWare at this stage, this is BioWare in the golden age of writing. This is their golden age. These are where their best writers are just coming up and beginning to really get into their stride and flex their creative muscle. And this is actually, by the way, for anyone who complained about sexism, this part here, the entire Orzammar part, is written by a woman who is one of the best writers BioWare have ever had. And I will call her out when we get to the credits at the end of the game in a few days' time. But for now, that's all I wanted to say on this part. So I'll let you just think about it as we're going through it. But come into it with an open mind. It is a bit freaky, okay? But at the same time, it's done very well. It's not over the top. And I will say no more about it until we've finished it. Even after we finished it, I doubt I'll say anything about it, because I've said all I wanted to say. But, you know, here we go. Dust.
Second day, they beat us and eat some for meat. Fifth day they return, and it's another girl's turn. Sixth day, her screams we hear in our dreams. Seventh day, she grew as in her mouth they spew. Eighth day we hated as she is violated. Ninth day she grins and devours her kin. Now she does feast, as she's become the beast. First day they come and catch everyone. Second day, they beat us and eat some from meat. Third day, the men are all gnawed on again. Fourth day, we wait and fear for our fate. Fifth day they return, and it's another girl's turn. Sixth day, her screams we hear in our dreams. Seventh day, she grew as in her mouth they spew. Eighth day, we hate it as she is violated. Ninth day, she grins and devours her kin. Now she does feast, as she's become the beast. First day they come and... What is this? A human? Bland and unlikely. Feeding time brings only kin and clan. I am cruel to myself. You are a dream of strangers' faces and open doors.
Let's examine her closely. She appears to be suffering from a high fever. Her skin is pale and she is covered in dark blotches.
First day they come and catch everyone.
What is that chant?
It's what I've seen. What I will become. I force it into verse so it is fantasy. Unreal. That's the only place I can hide. Because they make me. They make me eat. And then, all I could do was wish Laren went first. I wished it upon her so that I would be spared. But I had to watch. I had to see the change. How do you endure that? How did Branka endure?
So this is, a lot of people say to me, well, how would you know that people are being raped? You know, they could just be, because they're made to eat their own people, so maybe they're made to eat their own people, that's why they're being violated. Well, Hespeth here is eating her own people, and she just said, I just hoped that Laren went first, so I would be spared. Well, she's not being spared, because she's eating her own people, you know? So what does she want to be spared from? Because it's not eating people. She wanted to be spared from whatever Laren was taken off to do. What changed? What are they doing?
What they are allowed to do. What they think they must. And Branka, our lover, and I could not turn her. Forgive her. But no. She cannot be forgiven. Not for what she did. Not for what she has become.
What did she do, Hespeth? What? I love her in the dark. No wonder she left Ogren.
Yeah, this explains a lot. Of course, if I knew she had those interests, I could have made some adjustments.
There is too much darkness here. The Anvil. It is in the darkness. Surrounded by it, pulling Branka in. No, I swore not to speak of it, not to think of it. La, 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 la. I will not hear any more about Branka.
I can end this. Tell me what I need to know.
End this? I am full of them. Only a step from Laren. I dream I am away, but real safety? That means accepting. And I will not. I will not become what I have seen. Not Laren, not Branka.
Okay.
She became obsessed. That is the word, but it is not strong enough. Blessed stone, there was nothing left in her but the Anvil.
Can I get you a ladder so you can get off my back? All right, all right.
So that's where we were before. We just got around.
We tried to escape, but they found us. They took us all. Turned us.
Boonamar. I thought it would have fallen into dust by now.
I think the legionary key would.
The men, they kill. They're merciful. The women, they want to touch, to mold, to change until you are filled with them.
It's nice to know. Let's see if there's anything else around here that I can take. There should be. I guess not.
They took Laren. They made her eat the others, our friends. She tore off her husband's face and drank his blood. And while she ate, she grew. She swelled and turned gray, and she smelled like them. They remade her in their image. Then she made more of them. Brood mother.
Put her out of her misery.
Got it.
Bitch.
Now, better play.
Why would he attack? Okay. Can shale actually take health poultices? Not sure. Brent, if I have to tell you to drink a health poultice one more time, fucking drink it.
They won't get in.
You would do that.
That's where they come from. That's why they hate us. That's why they need us. That's why they take us. That's why they feed us. But the true abomination is not that it occurred, but that it was allowed. Branka, my love. The stone has punished me, dream friend. I am dying of something worse than death. Betrayal.
So,
Can I get you a ladder so you can get off my back?
Bronca left her people here to die, and one of them was turned into one of them. Which is, not pleasant.
What do you want?
God, I really don't like Ogren. I'm just going to come out and say it. I really don't like him. He's in this just because he has a really cool thing to say. Because it's his wife who we're chasing. That's it. But I'm not his biggest fan at all. So one-dimensional and just like... But yeah, that's the controversy. And you know what? There are schools of thought that, you know, the rape doesn't happen, and that's fine. You know, that's all great. I personally think it does.
If Branka is anywhere, this has to be it. She will not be unprepared.
Dude, she's right there.
What was that?
Let me be blunt with you. After all this time, my tolerance for social graces is fairly limited. That doesn't bother you, I hope.
Shave my back and call me an elf. Branka, by the stone! I barely recognized you.
Ogren. It figures you'd eventually find your way here. Hopefully you can find your way back more easily. And how shall I address you? Hired sword of the latest lordling to come looking for me? Or just the only one who didn't mind Ogren's ale breath?
Be respectful, woman. You're talking to a Grey Warden.
Ah, so an important errand boy, then. I suppose something serious has happened. Is Enrin dead? That seems most likely. He was on the old and wheezy side.
Osmond needs a new king to help defend against the Blight.
A king won't defeat a blight. We've had 40 generations of kings and lost everything.
I said help.
I don't care if the assembly puts a drunken monkey on the throne. Because our protector, our great invention, the thing that once made our armies the envy of the world, is lost to the very darkspawn it should be fighting. The Anvil of the Void. The means by which the ancients forged their army of golems and held off the first archdemon ever to rise. It's here, so close I can taste it.
Balin would change things, move us more forward.
1,000 Balins could die and history wouldn't notice. I'm looking for the one thing that will return our days of glory. The Anvil lies on the other side of a gauntlet of traps designed by Caridin himself. My people and I have given body and soul to unlocking its secrets. This is what's important. This has lasting meaning. If I succeed, the Dwarven people benefit. Kings, politics, all that is transitory. I've given up everything and would sacrifice anything to get the Anvil of the Void.
Does that include Hespeth and the others of your house?
Enough questions. If you wish me to get involved with this imbecilic election, I must first have the Anvil. There's only one way out, Warden. Forward. Through Caridin's maze, and out to where the Anvil waits.
What has this place done to you? I remember marrying a girl you could talk to for 1 minute and see her brilliance.
I am your paragon.
So we're nearing the end.
I needed people to test traps. Right as the traps. There's no way to break through except by trial and error. I sent them in. All mine. Pledged to be my house, and they didn't want to help. They tried to leave me. Even my Hespeth. But even she couldn't understand that when you reach for greatness, there are sacrifices. As many sacrifices as are needed.
She was sending her people into traps to test them. Very nice.
Better than later.
She shouldn't have gone. She was pledged to me. She swore she'd do whatever it took to find the Anvil. There was no other choice. Most of them were dying of the taint already. But some of the women were transforming. I knew what they would become. There would be an endless supply, fresh, dark spawn to test the traps. They could still serve me, let me find the Anvil. It was the only way.
So it's even worse. She left the women to become brood mothers on purpose, so the darkspawn would go through the traps. Wow. What a douche.
I'll get on it.
They say your order is renowned for its wits as well as its brawn. Perhaps you'll do better than my poor clansmen. There's something about this place. Makes people despair.
I'll get on it. get on it.
Right. Let's get in there.
Now's better than later. That should not have been blocked.
Here are the traps. This one's straightforward, you just run through. Kill these.
Now you die.
Put you out of your misery.
Can I get you a ladder so you can get off my back?
Alright. Wait for everybody to get their health back up. Should do it.
Now's better than later.
Oh, Gren, just take a potion, will you? For God's sake.
I'm not dead!
Okay, this part's actually not hard, but it just goes on for a while. Nice lyrium veins, though, isn't it? Cool. Very nice. It just drops shale, like, poof.
Ready. Push them back.
Took a while. It's the wrong way, isn't it? Yep. Not if everyone's health has already come back and like Ogren's still there, just like, hmm? There we go.
My name is Carradon. Once, longer ago than I care to think, I was a paragon to the dwarves of Orzammar.
Carradon, the Paragon Smith. Alive?
Ah, there is a voice I Shale of the House of Kadash. Step forward.
You know my name? Is it you that forged me then? Is it you that gave me my name?
Have you forgotten then? It has been so long. I made you into the golem you are now, Shale. But before that you were a dwarf, just as I was. The finest warrior to serve King Valtor, and the only woman to volunteer.
The only woman? A dwarf?
I laid you on the anvil of the void, here in this very room, and put you into the form you now possess.
The Anvil of the Void. That is what we seek.
If you seek the anvil, then you must care about my story, or be doomed to relive it.
You made the anvil, I take it.
Though I made many things in my time, I rose to fame and earned my status based on a single item, the Anvil of the Void. It allowed me to forge a man of steel or stone, as flexible and clever as any soldier. As an army, they were invincible, but I told no one the cost. No mere smith, however skilled, has the power to create life. To make my golems live, I had to take their lives from elsewhere.
A dire shortcut. Was it worth it?
So said my king. I had only intended to use volunteers, but he was not satisfied, and soon a river of blood flowed out of this place. Finally, it was too much. I refused, and so Valtor had me put on the anvil next.
So you sealed it away? Orzammar could use it?
No! I entombed myself here to find a way to destroy the anvil. It must not be used again!
No! The anvil is mine! No one will take it from me!
Shale, you fought to destroy the anvil once. Do not allow it to fall into unthinking hands again!
You speak of things I do not remember. You say we fought. Did you use our control rods to command us to do so?
I destroyed the rods. Perhaps my apprentices eventually learned to replace the rods. I do not know. But if so, then all they need is the anvil to make all the slaves they need. You, please, help me destroy the anvil. Do not let it enslave more souls than it already has.
You're a paragon. I'll help you if you support a new king.
Don't listen! He's been trapped here for 1,000 years, stewing in his own madness. Help me claim the anvil, and you will have an army like you've never seen!
Bronca, you mad, bleeding nugtail! Does this thing mean so much to you that you can't even see what you've lost to get it?
Look around. Is this what our empire should look like? A crumbling tunnel filled with dark spawn spume? The anvil will let us take back our glory!
The anvil enslaves living souls. It must be destroyed. And by the way, did you just call him crazy after what I just fucking saw?
So it fights with Caradin? Good. That seems right.
Thank you, stranger. Your compassion shames me.
No! You will not take it! Not while I still live!
Bronca, don't throw your life away for this.
Can't you see she's dangerous?
Just give her the blasted thing. She's confused. Maybe once she calms down, we can talk to her.
That's not a risk I'm willing to take.
Bah! You're not the only master smith here, Caradin. Golems, obey me! Attack!
A control rod! My friend! You must help me! I cannot stop her alone!
He just turns around really quick. getting beat up by his wife.
So you can get off my Now it's better than later.
If you get rid of all the golems first, it becomes much easier. Like,
Another life lost because of my invention. I wish no mention of it had made it into history.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. Stupid woman. Always knew the Anvil would kill her.
How is it that the woman was not able to disable me as she did you, Carradine?
I do not know. Have you been altered?
I once had a pathetic little mage of a master. He did something to me, experimented on me, and then I killed him, and it rendered me paralyzed.
Perhaps he was bringing forth old memories, and caused you to remember the time when you fought at my side. The paralysis you speak of always resulted when the Master perished. As for your free will, you were always a strong woman, Shell. I am pleased to see you remain such.
I don't know what to say. Thank you.
Do not thank me. All of this is my doing, my legacy. But at least it ends here. I thank you for standing with me, stranger. The Anvil waits there for you to shatter it. Is there any boon I can grant you for your aid? A final favor before I am freed from my burden?
oh, Kryn, you lost Branka to this. What do you want?
Yeah. I don't suppose you can bring Branka back. Maybe make her a golem like you.
I would not do such a thing to her, even if I could.
Somehow I didn't think so. And I don't want anything that would remind me of this. Best it's just done. There is still the matter of the election. I mean, we still need a Paragon to get the Assembly support, right?
For the aid you've given me, I shall put hammer to steel one last time, and give you a crown for the king of your choice. anything more of them. I have already lived far beyond my time. I have no place here.
And I'll destroy the anvil as agreed.
That would please me. You have my eternal thanks, stranger. A trust and all tongue shall. May you always find your way in the dark.
That's the end of that. Probably head back now. You see a large stone tablet chipped with age, with a great number of dwarven runes carved into its surface. The writing is in dwarven and appears to be a long list of names, each with a stamp of their house next to them. You recognise a few of the house names. At the bottom of the list are the words, "We honour those who made the sacrifice, let their names be remembered." The carvings are still deep enough that a tracing could be taken, allowing the information to be carried elsewhere. Shale, do you recognise this at all?
No. Perhaps it thinks I should. It may have something to do with Carradon's words. If there is some way to make a copy of these runes, I am willing to study them. Perhaps there is something to be gleaned from them. I know not.
Ogre?
Names. Long list of dwarves. Wait, hold on. We honor who have made this sacrifice. Let their names be remembered. Fart me a lullaby. It's a memorial of all the dwarves who became golems. Has to be. If there was some way of getting this back to the Shaper at Norzimar, I bet they'd brown their trousers. And pay good gold for it. Probably both.
Nice.
Well, that pretty much beat the sod out of how I imagined it. You ready to head back yet and share the news?
Let's go while a new king can still be of some use to me.
Yeah, those Deshirs have been trying to destroy the city for years. Haven't managed yet.
And we'll retrace our steps all the way back.
Lords of the Assembly, I call for order. This argument gets us nowhere.
Then why these delaying tactics? I call for a vote right now. My father has one living child to assume the Idukan throne. Who would deny him that?
Your father made me swear on his deathbed you would not succeed him.
I apologize for the interruption, Lord Steward, but the Grey Warden has returned.
We should let the Warden speak. What news do you bring?
I bring a crown from Paragon Carradon for his chosen king.
Carradon was trapped in the body of a golem. This Warden granted him the mercy he sought, releasing him and destroying the Anvil of the Void. Before he died, Carradon forged a crown for Orzamar's next king, chosen by the ancestors themselves.
And we are supposed to trust this? The word of a drunken sot and a Grey Warden known to be in Harrowmont's pocket?
Silence! This crown is of Paragon make, and
bears House Hortan's ancient seal. Tell us, Warden, whom did Caradon choose?
Caradon chose Balin.
You leave me speechless, Warden. But I salute your wisdom, late though it may have come.
He is a dick, but he's a better king, weirdly.
Let the memories find you worthy. First amidst the lords of the houses, the King of Orzammar.
Do you acknowledge me as king?
I cannot defy a paragon. The throne is yours, King Balin.
Then as my first act as king, I call for this man's execution. Guards, seize him!
Harrowant was an honorable rival. Let him retire in peace.
You know better than anyone the war facing us, Warden. Orzammar cannot afford to be divided. Anyone undermining my reign is serving only the Darkspawn. I will return to my palace to gather my generals and prepare our forces for the surface. I will see you there, Warden. You have my gratitude for all you have done for me. You have proven yourself and more, Warden. Without your aid, I would not have taken this throne so smoothly or so soon.
Congratulations, bravo. Now where are my troops?
My generals are already preparing for a mission to the surface. When you have need of us, you shall have every able-bodied dwarf in Orzammar. Since you did more than I expected, I offer a personal reward as well. This was a mall favored by my brother Trian. Take it with you, as a reminder of your ties to Orzammar. Now, I have much to do. If there is nothing else...
I want my face in one of those big statues.
I'll see what I can do. Now, I must address my other petitioners. Come back and visit sometime.
Yeah, you bet on it. There we are, that is the end of the longest quest in the game. Now it's going to hand in some of our other quests and then we're pretty much done. For now at least.
The throne restored and legends put to rest. Incredible. If I'd heard it secondhand, I'd have called it a sodding lie. Warden, we've got a king because of you. The rest, impressive. But the Legion is grateful most for restored leadership. It frees us to fight to the Darkspawn properly.
Can I count on you to fight against the Blight at my side?
Nay, our place is down here. When you break the Blight, and you've got the skill, we'll make sure they have nowhere to retreat. You'll have us indirectly. That's more than any surfacer can say.
We need your top side. Show the world your skill.
You alone have the skill to back up your words. Each of the Legion owes our homeland a death, but if our lives are better shed on the surface, so be it. Back to Orzammar when we win, though. I'll not stay topside to lose my stone sense.
Now, if
News of the hour! All hail King Balin Idukan, the worthy dwarf
So like, in law, if you leave Orzammar and you're a dwarf, then you're like outcast and you're not allowed back in. So the armies that go up with you, are they given like special dispensation or something?
I would not have voted for Balin, but I trust my mother's judgment. He may be just what Orzammar needs.
You've returned. With all the excitement over the new king, I never expected you to remember my poor son. Did you learn anything about my ruck?
I'm sorry, yes, but you might not want to hear it.
What is it? Is he dead? Oh, please don't torment me.
Why can't I say anything else? I'm afraid Rook went crazy after too long in the deep roads.
Crazy? Oh, ancestors, save him. I've heard of this. Lost soldiers turning on each other, eating darkspawn flesh. Is that what happened to my boy? Why didn't you bring him home?
He's too tainted to come back to Orzammar.
No. There must be a way. If he lives, there's hope. I have to go to him. He needs me. Oh, he must be so frightened out there, so lonely. I thank you for what you've done. Even if you couldn't be bothered with more. Take this.
What the fuck?
It's my husband's masterwork, the first shield he smithed. I was saving it for Ruck, but I want you to have it. As my thanks.
Fuck off. Like, why has the game done that? Normally you can lie to her and say that he's dead. Well, why? Never mind. Oh, never mind, you couldn't be bothered with more. Fuck. Shut up. We've got to just hand in a few more quests. I think we're nearly there though.
News of the hour. Balin is king. Future of Orzammar secure.
I see enemies.
Corrupted the ward. Ended for Harriman.
Most impressive, Warden. King Balin's ascent to his father's throne has been recorded in the memories. Is there something more I can help you with?
I found some tracings you might be interested in.
What's this? A list of names. Most of these clans no longer even exist. Is this authentic?
You bet your hairy arse it is. Taken from a tablet in Caridin's fortress, no less.
Then is it true? The rumors of Caridin's so-called volunteers? Extraordinary! I would love to make a copy of this. The Shaperate has never had much information on Caridin and his golems, much less proof of this magnitude. Warden, I hope this artifact from our archives will suffice as a reward. I must inform the Shaperate at once.
What else?
I started to worry. I didn't know if you were ever coming back. Did you find any records? Any sign of the old Orton Tig?
I have the records right here.
You found them? Let me see. That's my great-grandmother's name. And her husband! Oh, great ancestors, it's them! It's me! I am an Orton. Oh, thank you. I have to take these to the assembly right away. Find me there. Once these are acknowledged, I'll give you any reward.
God's sake. This is where games fall down sometimes. Just running back and forth, out like you've done the main quest, now you're just cleaning up, it takes forever.
My name's Orta. After the old Orton house, they gave our seat back. And the records show which houses still owe House Orton money. One day, I will be able to properly thank you for all you've done for me.
Nah, yeah, whatever.
And I don't know what treasure is left. But whatever I get, you can have as much as you want. I'll have to find someone willing to look. Maybe a whole expedition. If the Tig is still there, it must have something. House Orton will not forget this kindness. Didn't that sound official?
I think that's it. I think that's the last thing we have to do. Oh god.
Can I get you a ladder so you can get off my back?
Oh, these have loads of really good stuff.
News of the hour. Lord Balin victorious. Lord Harrowmont arrested and ridiculed in the street.
Right. I think that's the last thing you have to do. Yes, it is.
Dwarf.
What?
Stop tripping me.
Stop tripping yourself.
If you were significant enough to notice, I wouldn't step on you.
Oh, well, your mother.
That was disappointing. I expected better from you.
Sorry, I was in a rush.
Show some pity for a poor old man.
Give me a moment.
Sure, take your time.
By the stone. I feel like I'm about to fall off the world with all that sky up there.
Is it that strange to you?
Strange? Strange is your wife turning out to prefer the ladies, not living in a world without a bleeding ceiling. Well, let's get moving. We're losing, daylight.
Down street. Alright folks, that'll be the end of this one. And next time, we'll be doing a return to Ostagar, which will be really, really interesting. So I'll speak to you then.